Hi, this is Alicia from Behind the White Picket Fence, and today I am here to do a video on how to get out of a reading slump. For me, a reading slump is my worst nightmare. It usually starts with either forcing myself to read a book that I really do not like, or feeling an overwhelming amount of pressure from looking at my TBR shelf/shelves. Some other causes of getting into a reading slump are either you can't concentrate on what you're reading, or you just don't like what you're reading, or you can't seem to find a single book that is appealing to you at that particular moment. One of the hardest things to do is to actually manage to climb out of that deep, dark hole of depression from lack of motivating words or stories. Believe me, I know. In this video, I hope to share with you some tips that I've learned over my course of falling into reading slumps and managing to climb back out. And I hope they will be helpful for you and maybe even get you out of your reading slump. So if you saw one of my earlier videos, I've mentioned that I am in a reading slump myself. And some might think that making a video about how to get out of a reading slump while you're in a reading slump might be a bad idea. But I think there couldn't possibly be a better time to make one than while figuring out how to get out of one on your own. And I think personal experience is one of the best tips and traits and whatever to learn how to get out of your own reading slump. So, over the course of the last month or so, I've been doing a lot of research on how do you get out of a reading slump, how do other readers find themselves in reading slumps, and what do they do to get themselves out. And I've come up with a lot of tips and tricks, and hopefully I'll be able to help you out this time as well. My friends told me that one of the best ways to get out of a reading slump is to actually reread a book or find an author or book that you love and read that. I tend to kind of feel, I don't know, offended or something when I get advice, and that's kind of a typical response for me. I've never reread a book, so I kind of just push this advice off to the side because I don't really see the point in rereading books. So my brain tends to say that if I can't figure out how to get out of a reading slump on my own, then what's the point? I'm just this little weakling off in the corner that can't do anything for herself. And that could not be further from the truth. Asking for help is a great way to find new tips and tricks on how to get out of your own reading slump. And who knows, maybe you'll find something that works amazingly well for you and you won't ever have to deal with a slump again. Wishful thinking anyways. Some of the other things that I've tried and found through this research for this video are, one, just stop reading altogether. Don't force yourself into something that you're not feeling up to or that you just don't want to read. Because that can lead to worse slumps than what you're in right now, and it's just not good for you or anyone around you, because you know how you get when you don't read. So, just let your brain have a break if it needs it. If you can't find a single thing to read, and if you just can't stand the thought of picking up another book, it's okay to take a break. Something else you could try is something completely different. Go into a new genre. Venture into something that you've never read before or haven't even heard of. Finding something new within that might just spark that interest in reading again, and, you know, you're gonna do anything you can to get out of this slump because it's just dragging you down and making you depressed, and you know what? It's time to lift yourself back up and find something new to be excited about. This next tip is one that I have used many times. It is listen to an audiobook. Some of you, I know, do not like audiobooks at all, and believe me, I am the same way. audiobooks are kind of that thing that I do every once in a while when I just cannot think of possibly reading another page or another word. And so I just find a book that I like and a narrator that I like, and it just gives my brain that time to rest without having to read the words actually through the page. You can just listen to someone else doing all that work for you, and it can really give you a break, and that might be that break you need, and maybe even listening to an audiobook can bring in that special feeling of reading again. And if that audiobook brings in that special feeling, maybe you'll even be able to read a book next. Who knows? These are all tips that I have tried and have worked on different times and levels. And if it doesn't work for you right now, just try something else. Another good tip that I came across was setting a regiment. If you are someone that likes sturdy structure in your life, then why not just let your brain have this one moment in the day to read? You can either set a goal on reading a chapter a day or even just a time period. And that is good for you because you like structure and it makes you feel safe, and if you're safe and feel comfortable, then reading should be easy. One thing that I've noticed for myself is when I tend to read other reviews, especially if I find a reviewer that has a deep passion for what they're reading, it tends to flow into me. And passion for books, no matter where it comes from, is a good thing. It brings the passion back into yourself and allows you to possibly even spread the passion to someone else. And in a reading slump, you need all the passion you can get and all the joy and all the excitement for reading as you can get. Believe me. My last tip is sometimes you just forget that you have this one book on your shelf. Maybe it's fallen to the back, maybe it's fallen off the shelf completely, and maybe it's just something that is just one of the few books in your on your shelf that just don't get noticed because you have so many. Rearranging your bookshelf can be an amazing way to find new books that you have wanted to read that you have just forgotten about. Cleaning and cleansing your shelves is a great way to progress yourself forward and allow the cleansing of your brain to work along with cleansing your shelves and letting new possibilities arrive where they need to be seen. And who knows, maybe you'll find something that's been waiting for you to read it, and maybe that's why you can't read anything, because there's this one book waiting off in the corner that you just forgot about. Hopefully these tips have been helpful for you. I know a lot of these are kind of common, and you may have even heard them many times before, and hopefully the way I've said them or introduced them to you will help you realize that there's maybe something that you can change with your reading style, and hopefully you'll have found something that is helpful for you. And thanks for watching, and good luck with that reading slump. Bye!